Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are having a good day today. Just a couple quick things before I start the video. So our last video actually hit over 60 views, which I'm going to be honest is like 60 more views than I originally had thought we were going to get. So thank you to everyone who viewed that. And I hope to make videos a regular part of the animated observation experience. I know my work ethic is a little bit shoddy recently, and this is kind of already out a lot later than I had anticipated it being. But yeah, I really would like to do these at least bi-weekly, ideally more, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thanks for clicking in on the video. Please, like, follow, share, do all the shill stuff or whatever, and hope you enjoy. Something I've talked about a few times now between social media and blog posts is that I actually started watching anime when I was really young, about 12 to 13. My first anime was technically Bakugan, which I was obsessed with for quite a while, as both my parents and my closet can attest. However, my first anime during the time I was aware of it was Bleach, which was then followed by FMA and, of all things, Ouran High School Host Club. It was a strange progression, to say the least. Watching anime during that time was kind of like doing crack, because the dopamine just kept coming, and I never really got tired of it. Almost 10 years later, I'm still watching, even if my motivation to watch any individual show can kind of ebb and flow. I say all of this to make the point that education and a myriad of other factors can radically alter people's perceptions of art. I originally watched From the New World in my sophomore year of high school, which ended up being a time of revival in my anime fandom journey. I like to think that, while I may not be radically different personality-wise, my increased education and perspective has given me some insight that I did not have previously while watching the show. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh, so you don't like the series anymore? While that is certainly a rational conclusion given how I've structured the video thus far, it is far from the truth. In fact, rewatching the series so much later on in my life has actually made me appreciate a significantly greater portion of the show than I did previously. One such thing is the series animation. High School Me was of the opinion that, while the series had a good story, it was ultimately hampered by its below-average animation. There are definitely some issues with it, but it is by no means strictly bad. In fact, there are many instances in which the inconsistency serves to add to the feeling of the scene. A good example of this is in episode 5, where Saki and Satoru are stuck in the monster rat cage. The two of them are still in a state of confusion and panic over what they heard from the false Minashiro. Thus, the quote-unquote inconsistent animation allows the series to visualize those panicked feelings in a way that a much more polished series might not be able to. Another example comes in episode 10, when Saki goes looking for Shun after he disappears. As it turns out, he's a karmic demon, and has since distorted the world around him. Again, while this distortion may not be the most polished, it also adds to the scene by making everything look that little bit more frightening. From the New World also has a lot of political themes, which I definitely did not have a full appreciation for as someone who was only about halfway through AP Gov at the time. The vast majority of the series' second half has a lot to do with the relationship between humans and monster rats. Though humans do not directly influence the day-to-day activities of monster rats, they do effectively have a say in what goes on given their powers. And monster rats do have to answer to humans. In other words, not slaves, but kind of slaves? The final third of the series sees the monster rats, led by the recurring character Yakomaru, rebel against the humans by attacking them on the night of a major festival. He accomplishes this by both catching the people of Kamisu 66 by surprise, as well as using the child of Mamoru and Maria in order to attack civilians. But what motivates him to do this? Yakomaru, along with a large number of the monster rats, views the relationship between themselves and humans as both abusive and fundamentally unequal. Seeing as how their power allows them to effectively wipe out an entire colony near instantly, they are forced to live in fear that, one day, the relationship between monster rats and humans might begin to sour. Yakomaru believed that, because of this relationship, there was only one solution: all-out war. While High School Me definitely found the whole situation frightening, it was only after rewatching the series that I have come to understand a very important part of the story, which is that humans, including Saki and Satoru, are not the good guys. Regardless of the big reveal at the end of the series, and whether or not any individual member of the town knew, they were still responsible for helping maintain a system in which other intelligent, able-bodied creatures were treated horribly. Whether or not this was an intentional allegory on the part of the original author is not something I feel confident giving a definitive answer on, but it certainly feels like that. There are so many other things that I could talk about, from the well-drawn backgrounds of the town, which serve to show how humans, despite attaining a new level of power, still live fundamentally short and fragile lives, to the scarily unique monster designs of Underground Tokyo, and their well-written inclusion into the story. So much of it just went over my head, at least until now. As you might be able to tell by now, this video isn't so much about the quality of the show itself, but rather my perception of that quality. So naturally, the answer to the question which serves as its title is a resoundingly simple yes.